scorned. Trolling for your next ex?
Get away from me.
Now.
Spike wants me. How obscene is that?
A wounded heart won't let go.
You want me to leave? You can put your hands on my hot, tight little body and make me.
An all-new Buffy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Slade, the Buffyverse Revisited. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your other host, James.
Are you, though?
No, my real name is Robert.
I figured.
And I've been living this assumed identity for the last 20 years.
I figured you were a robot.
I didn't say robot. I said Robert.
Well, a robot. I'm a fucking robot.
Hey, my fucking robot. Fucking robot. Just call me
This
Beat Boot.
week, we will be jumping into Season 5, Episode 15, I Was Made to Love You.
Oh, Jeremy.
I know.
Yes, we will be doing what Jeremy said we're doing.
Yes, we will be doing that. Anal debauchery.
Whoa.
So
how
what's
you
up,
doing, Jeremy?
James? It's been a hot minute since I've seen you.
It is. I'm wearing a whole different shirt and everything.
Wow. Okay. Does it have? I want to get a shirt. I saw one on Facebook. I don't know. I get a lot of these funny shirts like served up in ads to me on Facebook. I guess it's because I respond to a lot of them or share them because I think they're hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this one. You can get it in white or black. Maybe other colors. I don't know. But I think white or black would be the only two that would make sense. And it's just a plain normal t-shirt, but it has like super realistic nipples on the outside. Like right where your nipples would be. I think I want to get that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just thought I'd share that.
Well, I mean, I appreciate it.
If
I
anybody's
appreciate
looking, for a gift to get me for just being awesome,
just being awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, isn't National Podcast Host Day coming up soon? I think
it's this coming week actually.
Is it this week? Well, there you go, everyone. You can get Jeremy a realistic nipple shirt if you want to. If you want to get him a National Podcast Host Day gift.
And James likes inflatable butt plugs.
I do like inflatable butt plugs because I like putting them in and then inflating them.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. You build yourself up over time to being able to accept larger pieces of furniture into your anus.
Right. And the next thing you know, you're smuggling an entire IKEA store.
Right. I mean, you start with a lounge chair and you end with an IKEA store.
Right. Just right up your keister. Right
up the old prison pocket.
Right up, yes. Right up the old prison pocket. Canceled.
So, James, I have a fucking awesome idea.
What's that? You didn't even ask me how I am.
I most certainly did. I said, it's been a hot minute since I've seen you. How are you? And you said...
That's right, you did. That's right.
Yeah.
And I only responded to the hot minute part. That's right.
Right.
But how are you?
So it's your failure, not mine.
It's typical.
Exactly. I'm the same as always. Awesome, pretty, and witty, and gay.
Not in that order.
No, not.
Because
the order would be gay, pretty, witty.
Yes, that's exactly, and then awesome. Gay,
right.
Pretty, witty, awesome. Right,
awesome, of course.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I have a feeling, Jeremy, that you were getting ready to suggest that I toss out some dates and deets for this week's episode. Is that, in fact, what you were getting ready to do?
Well, yes, but I was going to say one thing before that.
Okay. Okay, good. Thanks.
just for our female viewers out there, I just wanted to let you guys know, mansplaining is when a man explains something. Okay. I just wanted to listen. I just wanted to make sure if we're going to be canceled that it's a full coverage. We have no listeners left.
Oh my God.
I think James is. Oh, I know what he's doing. He's working on that cyanide tablet. He keeps next one.
The wisdom tooth I had removed 15 years ago and replaced with a cyanide capsule.
Yeah,
now it seems. Now I remember or I understand why I did it.
Yep. He's trying to pop it right now.
Wow. Of all the things we've said, you've said on this podcast.
You're putting it all on me, okay?
No. I said that we've said, but more specifically of the things you've said, I think that's the only one that's ever made me like have to not see things for a few minutes. I pulled it. I essentially pulled a Giles. I took my glasses off because I did not want to see this shit.
Yeah, well, like I said, I figured if we're going to be canceled, let's not be pussies about it, right? Let's make sure it's a full-fledged, never to return cancellation.
Someone pointed out to me that, after she explained it, I'm agreeing.
She was telling you how a pussy works.
No,
no. Okay.
That she doesn't understand why pussy is considered a derogatory term.
Okay.
And at first I was like, well, because you call someone a pussy, like that's and then she's like, right, but like men love pussy, and men are always after the pussy. So how is calling someone else a pussy a derogatory term?
Well,
I'm like, you know what? I agree. I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's because you call a guy a pussy. You never want a guy. You want to chase the pussy. You don't want to chase a guy pussy. So you don't want a guy to ever be imagined as a pussy because that would ruin pussy.
I don't know.
And this has been Pussy Talk 101 with James and Jeremy.
I feel like it's like telling someone to go suck a dick. Like, to me, that's not really an insult. All you're doing is being like, I give you permission to engage in sexual discourse with another person.
Okay.
Well, so, like, it's not an insult.
Listen, do we need to ruin all the good things we have in the world?
I'm just saying.
Overthink everything and just ruin it?
I'm just saying, like,
God. I wish you'd just say some fucking dates and deets, all right?
As previously stated, we will be jumping into the 15th episode of the 5th season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the 93rd episode of the series overall, I Was Made to Love You. Written by Jane Espenson and directed by James A. Contner. Our original air date was February 20th, 2001 on the now defunct WB network. Our regular cast, as always, includes Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy, Nicholas Brendan as Xander, Allison Hannigan as Willow, Emma Caulfield as Anya, Michelle Trachtenberg as Dawn, James Marsters as Spike, Anthony Stewart Head as Giles. Our guest stars this week include Claire Kramer as Glory, Charlie Weber as Ben, Shonda Farr as April, Adam Bush as Warren. Pay attention to this character, people. Troy D. Blendell as Jinx, Amber Benson as Tara, Christine Sutherland as Joyce, and Melinda Embry as Katrina. Our Nielsen rating for this episode was 3.4, ranking at 87 out of the 133 primetime network shows airing that week, and number 3 out of the 16 primetime shows airing on the WB that week. My synopsis reads, Buffy must prevent the city's destruction at the hands of a heartbroken woman who was created to be the perfect girlfriend.
that seems a little
Yeah,
over,
it's like it's really dramatic. It's like really dramatic.
Super dramatic. Mine just is. I think mine's a little more accurate. Buffy and her friends encounter an incredibly strong female robot with only one thing on its mind: love. Not
Sure.
the destruction of the city.
The destruction of the city. No, not my city. Swear to me.
Swear to me.
We open in the Magic Box training room, and Buffy is given Xander a good old
Pound Town.
She's taking Xander to Pound Town. He's wearing like some sort of weird inflatable sumo wrestler suit, and she's just fucking wailing on him. And she's also complaining to Giles about her spike problem, and Xander tries to console her, basically telling her that it's not her fault. The fact that they live on a hellmouth, it makes dating hard, and this and that and the other thing. And then we cut to a taxi arriving in Sunnydale, and a young woman gets out, and the driver asks her if she's sure she wants to get out here, and he's like, this place is kind of, and he just kind of gives a look around and asks what she's looking for in Sunnydale anyway, and she flashes the camera a big cheesy smile and says, "True love." Wolf howl, roll credits. That's our cold open.
Yeah, and that was actually overdubbed because her actual answer was crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine, black tar heroin.
And he was like, "Okay, well, this is probably the best place for you to look then."
Yeah.
Anyway, the next day at the Summers residence, Joyce prepares for a date with a man named Brian, with the help of Buffy and Dawn. James, you're next.
Wow.
No, yeah, their mom is trying on this dress, and they're messing with her and getting her to spin around a million times. She realizes it, and I'm like, wow, Joyce is not the sharpest tool in the shed.
This scene made me wish that they had written Joyce as a better character, like all through the show.
Yeah, instead of waiting for 5 seasons to be like, oh, let's make her kind of fun.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, she's going to be going on a date with this feller named Brian, and that's how he pronounces his name, is Brian.
Brian, yeah.
And
BRY-ANN.
Right. ANNE, right. Brian. And so yeah, they're talking about that, and she's, modeling this dress. It is kind of a cute dress.
Mama.
Better on SMG, if I'm being honest.
but I mean, Mama Summers is looking all right here. She's looking all right.
Is she?
I mean,
okay.
She's not looking bad.
We all know that you've got a fucking boner for Christine Sutherland. We all know that.
No, I don't think she's an. I don't think
you did tell us that like a couple seasons ago.
No, I don't think she's an unattractive woman, but I'm not like, chubbed up for her or anything.
You used to rub them out for Christine, didn't you?
No.
He did. Ladies and gentlemen, he definitely did.
Giles, sure.
So Anya and Tara are walking down the street and yakking about the interwebs, and Tara doesn't really know much about the interwebs, but Anya's telling her that like she's figured out like some online stocks and trading and stuff, and that she took the money that she's made so far from Giles and tripled it. Tara's like, "But you mean like money?" And then I was like, money.
This is another scene like I was talking about a few episodes ago with like they're finally like giving characters who don't interact a whole lot on their own scenes together, and I'm really enjoying it. Like this scene here is a perfect example of it. Like Anya and Tara, you would never really see them just interacting together on their own, and this is great. Like I love this.
Yeah, it's like the writers were finally like, "Hey, you know what? We have other characters that can have lines with each other."
Right.
And Joss Whedon was like,
"What?"
And he died, and everyone rejoiced.
He had a brain aneurysm, and everyone was happy.
Yep, everyone was happy, and no authorities were called.
No.
So yeah, she's telling her about all that, and she's like, I can maybe teach you. And Tara's like, I don't have any money to invest. I'm a college student. And Anya's like, well, you fucked. Go kill yourself. And Tara does, and that's the end.
She does. She mumbles some
an incantation,
and then her head explodes. Her own head explodes. She's like
shum shum, and
her whole head just explodes.
And Anya's like, fuck, Willow is going to fucking kill me. So she hides the body, drops it into a well out into the out in the woods, and cleans up the crime scene as best she can. And quite frankly, Willow never discovers what happened to Tara.
No.
And spends the rest of her life in a catatonic state.
Yeah.
Sad.
So sad.
Thoughts and prayers. So around mid-conversation, that strange girl comes up to them that had been let off there in town and wants to know if they know who Warren is, and if so, can they tell her where he is? And they're like, fucking seriously? No, don't know.
Like Warren. They're like Warren Beatty. Warren Buffett. I don't. Who?
Tara's like, no, Warren G. Regulators. Mouth up. So she's like, okay, thank you. And she goes to another person sitting on the park bench and asks him, and they're both just like, okay, that's fucking weird. And then we cut to that night, and Buff, Zan, On, Tara, and Will.
Buff, Zan, Anya, and Buff, Zan, On, Tara, Will.
Right, it's one person. That's
person,
when they Voltron and become one person. What?
You said that, and I immediately pictured it. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's the way we work. That's why we work so well as a
like. I just picture like Buffy like forming Voltron head.
Yeah, well, Buffy's like, and I am the head, and then like, but then Anya's like, well, why can't I be the head? And Xander's like, shh, and Willow rolls her eyes. Yeah. Anyway, they're at a spring break party, and it's mainly just a way for drug pushers to sell their drugs.
Right.
There's an insane amount of illicit substances being passed.
And they're not even hiding it either. There's actual like booths set up around the perimeter of the party with big banners like, "Get your black tar heroin right here."
Crack. And then another one says like, dude, just smoke doobies, man. And then there's another one where, and it doesn't have a sign, and they walk up to it and they're like, what are you guys selling? And they're like, information, man. They're smoking cigarettes. And they never did really explain that one. So Buffy's dancing with Xander, and Anya's like, I let him do that. And it's like, okay, this is super awkward Anya episode, apparently. Buffy spots Ben, and she kind of goes over and pretends like she doesn't see him, and then he sees her, and then they start talking, and there's just a weird. Ben's a weird guy, you know.
He is, but I mean, like Buffy is being pretty awkward here too. Like she's clearly trying to flirt with Ben, and
right.
like Ben's interested, but I imagine the fact that he shares a body with Glory kind of makes him hesitant. But also, like, why do we even fucking need this?
Exactly. Like what? How? Yes, 1,000,000% yes. Because it's like this. I mean, I get it. I don't want people to think that I think that everything that happens in an episode or a season has to tie into something. I don't think that, but it seems like in this show specifically, they do so much pointless, useless shit that does not need to even exist, that could be spent on better or funnier things, you know?
Because why? What is the constant need that the writers apparently feel to try and put Buffy into some kind of relationship? Is
Not
my thing.
But it's always like some type of like it's a relationship that's clearly like, well, that won't be good if that happens, you know.
Right. Sure.
You know, first a vampire as the Slayer, you know.
Right.
Then a rapist. What was his name?
Parker
can't lose. Yeah.
Right.
Then
it was like Riley wasn't like overtly a bad idea in the beginning, and honestly, like I feel. Listen, if SMG and Mark Blucas had any sort of on-screen chemistry whatsoever, Riley probably would have lasted.
Yeah, but there was zero chemistry there.
Right.
They had what?
I don't know.
Season and a half and just nothing.
Right. I don't know. I don't, especially because this whole thing, like the tepid flirtation between Ben and Buffy, it might even be in this episode, is quickly like put to rest. Like Buffy is like, no, I need to be by myself for a while. Yeah. Like, then why are we even doing this?
Yeah, then why did we, you know, whatever.
Right.
Whatever. So they have this awkward conversation, and she's like, so do you want to dance? And he's like, fuck no, bitch. And he just leaves. And she's like, why did he say that to me? That's so mean. And then as he's walking away, she glances at him, and he's got a sign on his back that says, that's right, bitch. And she's just like, wow, I don't understand. Right. And then he does this over his shoulder. And she's like, man, he really does not like me.
She's like, I don't even know what I did.
I don't even know what I did, but that guy really doesn't like me. Sorry. So, the weird chick comes in and starts walking around asking everyone about Warren and if they've seen Warren. And we see this guy jump up and run, like duck down and run over and grab this girl's hand. And he's like, oh, we got to go. She's going to see. And the girl's like, is it your side piece? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, man, whore. Let's go, honey. So, you know, she's going around questioning everyone and everybody or not everybody. I'm sorry. Anya and Tara are both like, is that fucking weird ass bitch that was asking everybody about fucking Warren? And Anya's like, that her? Mm-hmm. And, so then, did I bring up? I forgot the part where Spike comes in. My bad.
Yeah.
He comes in and fucking pisses off Buffy, and she's like, "You need to fuck off." And he's like, "Well, I'm not leaving the country or the state, like the town, like you thought I would, because it's a free country, and bitch." And she's like, "Go away, rapey boy." So he's like, "Fine, fuck you, I'm leaving." And so anyway, when the girl's in there asking everybody about Warren, then he walks up to her and he's like, it's really weird the way he approaches her. He's like, who are you? And I was like, why is this so loud and why is he so boisterous?
because he's doing it because if you remember, he saw Buffy talking to Ben, and he saw Ben give Buffy his phone number.
Oh yeah,
and like they kind of set up a potential date. So
he just walks up to her and he's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, he's deliberately trying to make a scene of talking to this girl because in his weird Spike fucked up brain, he thinks Buffy's going to be jealous.
Yeah. So, he starts hitting on the woman. Well, she tells us her name's April. Tells him her name's April. And he starts hitting on her, and then he actually physically touches her. And then she fucking snaps and like snatches his ass up over her head like fucking Ultimate Warrior style. And he's like, "What the fuck?" And she throws his fucking monkey ass right through a fucking huge plate glass window.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets up and he's like, "What the fuck? Like, you threw what?" Deuces. And he bails. And Buffy kind of comes up and she's like, whoa. That's my gig. And she's like, whoa. She's being really nice to her, but she's trying to be like, listen, you need to slow your roll and let's talk a little bit. And
I'm the only one that can beat Spike up for no reason.
Right. And then she proceeds to yeet fucking Buffy all the way across the bronze and leaves. And later on,
they're not at the bronze, so that's a pretty amazing feat.
Right, that's what I figured. Yeeted her all the way out that hole in the window and into the bronze. So later the gang are chit-chatting there at the magic box, and they quickly deduce that this woman is a robot, having dealt with robots before. And they're like, they don't really think she's a threat, but they do realize they need to find out who the fuck this Warren dude is and find out what the fuck the score is here. Because they're like, listen, if somebody less durable than Spike comes along, she's liable to break them.
Right.
And I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? Seems fine to me.
Sometimes people need to be broken.
Right. Sometimes some crimes go slipping through the cracks.
Yes, they do.
But these two gumshoes
are picking up the slack.
Yeah. There's no case too big.
Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers.
If you need help, just call.
Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers.
He's a pre-ejaculator, guys.
Pre and post ejaculator.
And during. He just never stops.
I never stop. As soon as someone touches it, I start and I don't stop till they let go.
Yep. It's a weird fucking time at James' house, let me tell you. So so anyway, then Buffy's like, well, I gotta get home because Giles has been, which whatever, but okay, I guess because she's the key. But I'm just like, why do they insist on having a babysitter for her all the time when she's fucking 14 years old? But Buffy's like, I gotta get home because Giles is babysitting Dawn. And she's probably driving him crazy. And she gets there and Giles is like, this has got to end. Like, this can't be a thing anymore. I can't. This is horrible. And Buffy's like, what'd she make you do? And he's like, well, we ate cookie dough and talked about boys. and Buffy's like, lol.
Lol.
And she just says that to him. She's like, lol.
Lol.
And he's like, I hate all of you. So, and then Joyce gets home and she's apparently had a nice date because she proceeds to tell Buffy that she left her bra in the car. And Buffy's
Joyce is joking, but
it turns you on a little bit.
No, but Brian gave her a respectable wienering, right?
Oh yeah. She went to Pound Town.
Yeah,
because that's what leads to what happens later.
Yeah, right.
Skull fucking.
The announcement that Joyce is pregnant again.
Right, with her 12th child.
12?
Only 2 that she's kept, right.
The other she put up for adoption?
No, she aborted them at 8.
She aborted them? Oh, gotcha.
When they were 8 months old. Or 8 months into pregnancy.
8 months into pregnancy.
Right.
It was one of those post-birth abortions that the Republicans are always talking about. That don't happen.
She waited until the child was crowning, and then she had the doctor stab it in the brain. Yeah.
Right in its soft spot.
Right. Let's see. So yeah, she creeps out Buffy. Then we cut to April, the robot, who has now resorted to simply going door to door and knocking on people's doors and being like, "Hi, is Warren here?" And this one guy's like, "It's 3:30 in the morning," and she's like, "Yes, it is." And he's like, he doesn't say anything. He just looks at her and then he just closes the door. And she goes, "Okay, thank you." And so Willow's been doing some digging. And again, she, it's been a while, but she went to www.tellmewhatinedtoknowforthisepisode.com. And she just typed in the name Warren. And she's like, oh, here's a Warren Mears. He went to Sunnydale with us for a semester. And he has AB blood and a penchant for masturbation in public. I don't know why that's in here. And he's like, well, and here's his mother's address. And I'm like, okay. So then they get to talking about so Buffy leaves to go check this address that Willow's given her, and the rest of the Scoobies are kind of chilling and discussing why would this guy make this robot? And Xander's the only one that's like, are you fucking serious? Are you being fucking serious right now? And they're like, what? And he's like, to fuck. He made this to fuck it. Like, why else would he? And they're all the girls are like taken aback and just utterly, shocked and disgusted. And he's just sitting there like, have you ever met a guy before? And he says a cool line where he's like, boy, I wish Oz was here. Like, he would get it. He wouldn't say anything, but he'd get it.
Yeah. And
I'm like, God, I really miss Oz too.
Right.
So I turned the episode off and quit watching. I was bummed.
Yeah, that's me. As soon as he brought up Oz, I was like, oh, Oz. And I got sad.
I'm not watching this anymore.
Yeah, and I turned the episode off too.
Yeah, I broke threw it away.
So what do you want to talk about for the next 40 minutes?
Penises?
Okay.
All right.
Do you like them big or small, or are you more like an average guy?
Dragon.
Oh, you prefer dragon penises,
right? Okay. Dragon penises, right? So,
okay,
2 to 3 stories.
2 to 3 stories. Wow.
Yeah.
Like climbing a giant red oak, huh?
Exactly. It's like being in the what's that that park in California with the 10,000-year-old trees and shit. They're huge.
Oh yeah.
It's like being there. Anyway. So yeah, after he lets them know that they're all stupid, and should kill themselves. They do. And how have I lost my fucking? Okay, here we go. Then we cut to a scene. Wait, No, that's not right.
What scene were you gonna go?
I think this is out of order. We don't go to Buffy calling Ben yet.
Yeah, we do.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah,
well,
Buffy.
She calls and Ben's like, "Yo, Ben here." And Ben's like, "Ben? This is Ben. How you doing, Ben?" No. She calls, and after hanging up and doing it several times, she finally lets it ring, and we cut to Glory, who looks to be receiving the fuckering of her life. Oh, I guess what it actually is she's just getting ready to turn back into Ben. And it looks like she was getting took to Pound Town. And she turns into Ben, and then he answers the phone, and Buffy's like, "Yo, yo, yo, let's do that coffee, yo." And he's like, "Okay." And tomorrow night, okay. And I'm like, wait, what? She called him for a coffee date for the following night?
That right?
I was like,
what?
Okay.
What? Coffee at night? That's insane. I want to back up just a little bit, and not that this should surprise anyone, but I want to touch base on just how fucking creepy Xander was.
Okay.
In front of his own girlfriend about this fucking sex robot.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Well, I think it was more of just he was like, fucking really? Like, because they're sitting around like batting it around like it's some kind of fucking unknown, like, why would he have possibly made this robot? We just can't understand. Xander's like, to fuck it? Like, I mean...
Yeah, but it's like the way... So he has a line in there after he's like, oh, she's a sex bot. And then he's like, what guy doesn't dream about that? But then, like, he, like, gets all, like, starry-eyed and dreamy, and he's like, beautiful girl with no other thought but to please you, willing to do anything. And it's like, dude, like, your girlfriend is sitting right there, you fucking skis.
And he's like, we'll let you harm it and cut it while cussing at it and screaming. Wait, what?
Wow.
Wow. Wow, Xander, you're weird. Yeah. So we cut to Warren G's house, and Warren G is rushing around packing, and his girlfriend is like, "What the fuck is up, brah?" And he's like, "We got to get the fuck out of here." And she's like, "We're not even going to say anything like bye to your mom or anything." And he's like, "You can call her later." And I'm like, "Wait, why does what? Why wouldn't it be like, I'll call her later?" No, he's like, "You, my girlfriend, you can call my mom later and say goodbye for me." I don't know, it just seems weird.
Okay. It seems weird coming from the guy that built a fucking sex robot.
Well, like you wouldn't build a sex robot if you knew how.
I wouldn't.
Fuck off. Liar. Oh, so then he's like, he's stuffing all of his shit in his bags and stuff, and his girlfriend Katrina, she's obviously, she's just questioning him, and he's like, "You need to pack your fucking shit like now," and she's not. Oh, sorry, had to clear some phlegm. And he's like, "All right, you know what? You don't want to pack? That's fine. We'll just buy new stuff." And they just start heading to the door to leave. And he pulls the door open, and there stands Buffy with a knife in her hand. She's like, "You piece of shit," and she just fucking starts hacking him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like straight Michael Myers.
Ah! And then she's like, "Shut up, bitch," and punches her, and it goes through her face, out the back of her head with one hand, and she's still stabbing Warren with the other one. It's fucking
like how Illyria punched that one dude right through the face in the finale of Angel.
Yep. It was dope, man. It was dope. So anyway, yeah, there's Buffy. And she's like, "Are you Warren?" And he's like, "Fuck, is this about her?" And Buffy's like, "Yep." And then Katrina keeps breaking in, and he looks at Katrina at one point. And he goes, "Katrina, shut up." And Katrina's like, "Fuck you, bitch." And she's like, "I'm out." And she leaves. And Warren G, he's like, "Listen, I got to fucking tell you something you can't possibly know." And Buffy's like, I know, I figured it out." He's like, "She's a robot." And Buffy goes, "Uh-huh." and we come back, and they're in like the living room there, and he's explaining, like, basically Buffy's ragging him out, which, is appropriate. And all of his reasonings and all of his everything he's done is just massively douchey. He's a clear weirdo nerd piece of shit. And so instead of breaking up with the robot, which, by the way, James, just really quick, I'm not going to harp on it. Don't you think if you're going to build a robot, right, that's this realistic and this powerful and et cetera, wouldn't you build like an off button on it?
Right. Like, he tells Buffy that instead of breaking up with April, he just left her in his dorm room for her batteries to run down. Like, what? You didn't put like a fucking off switch on her? Like, what the fuck?
You couldn't just reach, like, say, I don't know, up in her head, behind her hair or something, and there's just a little button and you just click.
Right.
Right. No, when I built her to be everlasting. And it's like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, what in the fuck? So, and then he even says to her, he's like, her battery should have ran down a long time ago. And I don't know why and Buffy's like, well, why haven't they? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe she's learned how to recharge them. And I'm like, okay, I know this is nerdy, but if he didn't install her with rechargeable batteries to start with, she ain't recharging her fucking batteries. It don't work that way.
Right.
But anyway, so that's, I guess, what we have to assume is she has discovered a way to recharge her batteries. So she's apparently going to live forever.
April Eternal. You can't do away with April, bitch.
And
I will haunt you till the end of days. I will eat your children's children.
You need to stop.
Your soul and the soul of all those you love will be mine until the end of time.
Man, April really escalated things,
She did. She did.
So Buffy's like, so is she dangerous? And Warren's like, I only programmed her, to love me, for love. And Buffy's like, oh, well then, yeah, she's dangerous as fuck. And Warren G's like, fair enough. Meanwhile, the Scoobs are meeting up at the Magic Box, and what's going on there, James?
Orgy.
Yeah, right. With fire.
Just
fucking on fire again.
Yeah, fire fucking again.
Again. Yep.
It's insane. It's insane.
It's totally nuts.
No, like you said, the Scoobies are at the Magic Box and talking about the situation, and then Spike shows up, and everyone's pretty much had enough of Spike at this point.
Yeah, they're pretty much this shit.
Yeah, especially given what happened in the previous episode, and he tries to give a false narrative of the account of what happened with Drusilla. Basically telling him that he's like, I don't know what Buffy told you, but what really happened is we were working together to stop Drusilla, and anything I may have said that made Buffy think I'm attracted to her was an accident. At which point Giles fucking rippers up. And like he grabs Spike by the shirt, shoves him against the fucking wall, and it was just lays it on the fucking line for him. He's like, we're not your friends. We're not your way to Buffy. Whatever this thing is you have, you know, with her or towards her, get the fuck over it. And then,
and he's like, now basically off.
Right. And then, like, basically tosses him out of the magic box. And I was like, so fucking hard.
I know you were. When I was watching that scene, I was like, he is full mast right now.
I was, yeah.
Your eyeballs were probably sweating. You were so hot.
A family of 12 could have camped in the tent I had pitched.
Yeah, I bet you if you had fucking impaled something, like King Arthur couldn't have pulled you out.
King Arthur could not have pulled me out. That's exactly right.
Yep.
I was like, Daddy.
Yep.
Yeah. So then we cut to a park there in good old Sunnydale, and Katrina just happens to run into April, and April ends up finding out that Katrina is with Warren, and April starts manhandling Katrina, basically. And at one point, for a moment, I thought April fucking killed her.
So did I. Yeah, I was trying to remember back to when, the first time I was like, oh, is she dead? I think she's dead.
Right. But she's not yet anyway. What?
Not yet. What?
What? So then Buffy and Warren show up, and he gives April this speech about how he can't love her, and then he fucking turns it around on Buffy so that April attacks Buffy.
Right.
And of course,
I'm like, wait, where did this come from? Like,
right.
That confuses the shit out of me, and I never do understand it. Like, I don't get it.
Oh, well, Warren, it says to April, he's like, I can't love you because I'm in love with her. And he points at Buffy. So then April attacks Buffy.
No, I know, but why? Why?
Because April is programmed to love Warren. So anything that gets in the way of that, she's going to attack.
No. I mean, why does he sick her on Buffy?
Oh, just to get rid of Buffy.
I know, but why?
So that he can get away.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It just seems, I was like, wow, okay.
So Buffy and April fight, and Buffy ends up fucking April's, robotics up, and Warren gets away with Katrina, and
Buffy breaks her Pentium 1.
Right. And then we see Buffy and April sitting on a set of swings to each other, and April's talking to Buffy as she powers down finally for the last time, and they're both talking about relationships and love and all that. And April finally slowly powers down. And then we cut to the place where the party earlier in the episode was being held, and Xander's fixing the window, and Buffy's, saying that she realizes she doesn't need anyone in her life, and Xander makes a comment about April being a crazy robot, and Buffy says that April was just trying to do whatever she could to make the person she loved happy. And which point we see Buffy leave a message for Ben canceling their date for coffee. but we see that it's actually Glory listening to the message instead.
And she's at a glory hole. Oh?
Which, well, I mean, that doesn't really mean anything because technically a glory hole would be any hole she makes.
There you go. That's all I meant. I don't know why your mind went dirty.
So then we cut to Warren back at his house, and Spike shows up, and he basically demands that Warren make him his very own robot. And Warren tries to refuse, and of course Spike, threatens to kill him, yada yada. And he's like, "Here's your specs." And he shoves a box at Warren, and it's a box full of, it's essentially the Buffy shrine that Spike had in like the crawl space of his crypt. So he wants Warren to build him a Buffy sex bot. Mm-hmm. At which point we all collectively go, "Ew."
Do we?
Yeah, if we're not skeezy, we do.
Yeah, Spike. Yeah. You do you, brother. You do you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the Summers home, and Buffy is coming home, and she sees that Brienne has sent Mama Summers some flowers, and she calls out for her mom in the direction up the stairs to see if Dawn needs to be picked up from school, and she doesn't get an answer, and Buffy turns around and heads into the living room, and we see Joyce is laying on the couch, and Buffy asks what she's doing, and we get a better look at Joyce, and she is laying there with her eyes wide open, staring blankly. And
dude, what gets
Buffy,
me here is Buffy saying, "Mom,
Mom,"
and then
Mommy.
And,
and we fade,
little
and
throat,
and we cut to black, and that is the end of our episode.
It sure as shit is.
Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to play everybody's favorite game, Body Count?
0.
2.
Same thing as 0.
So yeah, 2, 0, interchangeable.
Exactly.
Our music this week: Caviar with OK Nightmare, Los Straitjackets with Kawanga, Melanova with Heidi Ho, and Thomas Wenker with our original score.
Little Thomas Dickie Wenker.
So apparently there was a rumor that Britney Spears was originally supposed to play April in this episode.
Oh, yeah?
When asked about it, we said she wasn't, but the network told us that she might. They said Britney wants to do the show. He also went on to say we also were told at one time Samuel L. Jackson wants to do the show. Eventually, I just stopped believing when they told me people wanted to be on the show.
Yeah, I can't imagine in 2001, Samuel L. Jackson is chomping at the bit to be on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right. Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to tell me and our lovely audience, on our sliding scale of 1 to 5, how many sex bots do you give this episode?
Well, you know what? I normally have my shit ahead of time, but this one I couldn't nail down, man. I'm going to, on the sperm of the moment, I am going to give this a 3.
Okay.
It's a fun episode. It's kind of quick. It runs fairly quickly.
Yeah, it was another one. We've had a lot of episodes. I will say, a lot of episodes this season that when they ended, I was like, "It's over already!" Like
yeah,
it went by fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good because that means the pacing is,
yeah.
on point, so to speak.
Right. Yeah, it's fun little episode. Absolutely nothing in it matters over to the overall, except for the final scene, obviously.
Right.
There's nothing important in it, but it's still a fun little episode. It's still a, like a little diversion episode, which is fine. That's fine. Everything's fine. We're fine. I'm fine. You're fine. So there's not a lot to talk about. There's not a lot to dissect and, go into. It's just, it was what it was. It was a little fun little filler episode with, of course, that
teaser, that teaser tag.
And that last scene where everybody's like, what?
Right.
And that got me a little bit right here. I gotta be honest, right there. It got me a little bit.
Well, if that got you, then I imagine the next episode had some moments for you too.
Oh, we'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk. SMG's just so good at that, at emotions and emoting, and
yeah. And listen,
as soon as she went from the mommy, I was just like,
yeah.
And she,
because it was with, and we'll talk about this next week too. With each successive mommy, you could see her face,
the realization. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it was and listen, like, obviously we'll talk more about this next week, but next week's episode really proves that this whole cast is just like, SMG. We've talked about SMG and Allison, how good they are at this stuff, but man, next week's episode just really like nails it down that this whole cast is just so good at this.
Yeah. Yep.
So
100%. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3. It's better than average. And there's nothing wrong with it. Just a fun little filler episode. So, James.
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 5, how many daddy boners do you give this episode? And give us your final thoughts.
I give this episode 3 daddy boners.
Okay.
Honestly, I mean, for the same reason, I mean, I think with the exception of like 2 episodes so far this season, you and I have been right on point with each other.
Yeah.
Which surprises me that we disagree so much about the quality of the season overall. But anyway, there's nothing wrong with this episode. It's a fun little episode. And honestly, it's a nice. The rest of this season is heavy as fuck, man.
Mm-hmm.
After this, like, it does not let up after this.
Oh,
so this is a very much needed lighthearted episode, to head into the home stretch here, where again it just doesn't let up. So yeah, it's a 3. That's all I really have to say. I mean,
it was just, I normally write down my rating when the episode's over here on my notes for each episode, and I couldn't nail this one down. I was like, man, do I give it more points because of that final scene that just grabbed you by the fucking balls, or do I just rate it purely on, the episode? So yeah, I think it's a solid 3. It's most of our little fun filler episodes I have found over time usually hit around the 3 mark. Unless
it
You know,
it just seems to me that this season has an overabundance of those episodes.
Yeah.
That just don't, if you took them out of the season, wouldn't make a lick of difference.
Well, season 4 was the same way. We got to see Adam like 6 times. You know what I mean? It was, yeah, this isn't anything new, frankly, but,
I don't know, like, again, and I know we disagree, but I just feel like the quality of those filler episodes in season 4 was better than what we're getting in season 5.
I mean, it could be.
So.
I'm not like, I'm not going to die on that hill that you know, it's like, you know, I despise season 4 because I hate everything to do with the initiative with Adam and Riley. I hate it all. So that will forever taint season 4 for me. It could have the greatest episode that had ever been written in it, and I would be like, I don't care. I fucking hate season 4.
Well, it does have the greatest episode that was ever written in it.
Does it?
Hush, yeah.
Hush, little baby, don't sing. Oh, sorry.
Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird, and if that mockingbird don't sing,
Mama's gonna fucking break its neck.
Oh. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You should be very sorry. Yeah, I just, you know, it was what it was, but boy, next week.
And I'm telling you, like,
do you have your Kleenexes and your tampons for next week?
And listen, I'm not joking. For those of you that may be using the pod as your opportunity for a first ever watch of Buffy, and you don't know anything about it.
Yeah, next week is rough.
Get ready for next week, and get ready for it to not fucking let up for the rest of the next 6 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, we have 6. Well, not including next week, we have 6 episodes left, and they, like James says, they do not get easier. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's
in fact
fucking heavy.
Probably harder. So
yeah. So, but yeah, this episode's a 3. There's nothing egregiously wrong with it. That's directed well. It's acted well.
I meant to say I was happy with the casting of April. I thought she was a good actress.
That's what I was literally just gonna say. The young actress that they hired as April was phenomenal in the role. She was quirky and funny, and it was she managed to pull off threatening but not threatening, if that makes any fucking sense whatsoever.
Yeah, she did a good job. It was very good. It was very good casting.
Yeah.
So anyway, hey James, why don't you tell our listeners about our website and things of that digital nature?
Our website is nipplesnipples.com.
.nipples.
And if you go there, you will see pictures of my nipples. My nipples.
Oh, your nipples. Oh, okay.
My nipples, yes.
Confusing. Nipples. I would think it would be puppies.
One would think, but it's not. It's just my hairy nipples.
Oh, okay. We'll never go there.
No, go to BuffyRevisited.com, and you're going to find a link to our email, which is BuffyRevisited@gmail.com. You're going to find a link to our Facebook, and you're going to find a link to our YouTube. If you go to our Facebook, you're going to find a post about whatever episode we're revisiting that week, and then you can comment on that, about the episode, about the series, about the podcast, about your nipples if you want, about your puppies, your whatever, go to the YouTube, and man, this is some fucked up shit I'm about to reveal to you right now. If you go to our YouTube channel right now, you will be able to watch the video version of this podcast that you're currently listening to.
Fuck right off.
It's true. It's true.
Wow. I'm going to process this.
Yeah, you let that stew for a little while.
You're gonna have to. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, much like the Facebook page, you can leave your little comments there in the comment section of the YouTube video. Again, about the episode, about the series, about the podcast, about your nipples, about your puppies, recipes. You know, I'm always asking for recipes. Ain't nobody sending me no fucking recipes.
Yeah, nobody likes you.
Clearly. And then, yeah, you know, tell us why Jeremy's wrong about literally everything that comes out of his mouth.
Wow. What a dickhead.
No, yeah, leave us your comments, and we'll see what happens.
We will. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Next week we're going to be jumping into season 5, episode 16, The Body, and it's going to be a rough one. So you better just get ready. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to have our Wheaties and really prepare for this one. So, James, any final thoughts?
Nope. I'm just gonna go stock up on Kleenex for next week's episode.
All right. Well, all that being said, we'll see you next week. I've been one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your other host, James.
Ta-ta.